Hello scientists, we are here for lesson 19. In yesterday's lesson we talked about states of matter and how those states can change. Along with states of matter, we're going to be thinking about two different things: physical changes and chemical changes. What happens during those changes and how are they different?
So the big thing to think about when there's a chemical change is the substance actually changes. If you were looking through a really high-powered microscope, you would actually see different substances being formed. A new substance is formed. Also, chemical changes cannot just be undone. Physical changes, they may look different, or you may have changed the size or shape, maybe even the state of matter. Maybe it melted or maybe it froze, but it's still the same substance. So, thinking about that, let's start to create a chart. And I encourage you, after you do some of your exploration in your links, to add to this chart. So, a chemical change. I know that a new substance has to be formed. Let's say I'm baking with my mom, and I put a lot of ingredients in a bowl and then I bake them. When that cookie or pizza or whatever it is I'm baking comes out of the oven, I can no longer separate it into its parts, and a new substance has actually been formed. So let's say I'm baking cookies. That is going to be a chemical change because, again, a new substance is formed. Also, let's think about things like rust. How many of you have ever seen rust grow on metal, maybe on the bottom of a car or in something that's been left on the back porch and it gets rained on? That rust growing is actually proof that a new substance is being formed. So when you see rust, you know that a chemical change has occurred. Well, what about physical changes then? Because I can see a change has happened, but no new substance. So let's say you take your pencil, and don't do this, you'll make your teacher very angry. But let's say you take a pencil and you break it in half. Even though it looks different and you broke it, are both pieces still pencil? Did a new substance get formed? Breaking a pencil is an example of a physical change and a bad idea. Even if it looks really different though, it could still be a physical change. Do you remember when we were talking about our ice melting? Let's say you started with ice and you forgot about it and it was in your cup and it melted and became liquid water. It's still H2O. No new substance is formed. So if ice melts, that's still a physical change.
Mrs. Robinson, what about making slime?
Ooh, well, talk me through it.
So if I have some borax,
Okay.
and I have some glue,
Okay.
and I add a little water,
Right.
and I want food coloring in there because I want it to be a really pretty color when I'm done.
Right.
When I start mixing, it doesn't look like borax or glue or just plain water anymore. It changes.
So let's ask some guiding questions. Can you undo it?
No.
Can you separate it back into its original forms?
No, if I leave it out for a while, it dries out, but it still doesn't go back to just borax and just glue and just water.
So did you create a new substance?
I think I did.
Then I think you have a chemical change.
Cool.
Well, slime's just one way you can practice making chemical changes at home. Another way would be to do some simple baking. Go ahead and make some brownies. When you put all those ingredients together, bake it, when it comes out of the oven, that's a brand new substance. That's a chemical change. Then cut those brownies in pieces. That's a physical change, because even though it's a new substance, you cut brownies, they're still brownies. So give that one a try at home. Have some fun and enjoy.
Physical and chemical changes is one of my favorite units to study in science. So if it's one of your favorites too, you can check out the links below to learn a little bit more about how things change. Bye, scientists.
Bye, scientist.